Good morning. Welcome to Gruber Power Services Power Hour. Hey, we missed you guys last Friday. We thought we'd give you a break since it was Thanksgiving, and we didn't want to interfere with your family. Wanted you guys to enjoy yourselves and not have to worry about listening to us, even though we're pretty entertaining, right? Don't you think?
Well, yeah, I'm Elvis Venter with Gruber Power. It's a little bit rough today. It's a little bit rough today.
Yeah, I forgot to pass it over to my co-host, but he picked it up.
You've been 0 for 4 this month.
I've missed 4.
You've missed 4. 0-4. That's not a good record. But you know what? Sometimes we play like hot garbage.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes we play that bull junk.
Yeah.
But you know what? Confidence is our natural order.
That's right. We just pick it up and we start over again the following week. So yes, I am a little bit rusty, but I think we'll adjust really quick here because Elvis is going to pick me up today. He's going to keep me going.
Baby Coach Prime is what you can call me today.
That's right. Check him out with that hoodie and that baseball hat and those shades. We're looking the part over there.
So just to get an idea, so we've been really into Deion Sanders lately. The things he has to say, how he's motivated. He's created a shift, a really cool. He got a lot of attention for what he's been doing. So that's kind of my inspiration, and just been watching him. And I even pulled some quotes, some of my favorite ones that we're probably going to rattle off during the show. But I do want to say, and let me take the hat off now, because that's not something I'll do. But let's say this. So, wanted to let everyone know Claude's birthday just passed.
Oh, man. Why'd you say that?
Happy birthday.
Oh,
Happy
man.
birthday.
Oh, yeah.
I've gotten so many belated birthdays. I feel like I'm 64 now.
Well, you're 61, you know.
Yeah.
You're just a little bit younger than that.
Than that Sphinx over there? Yeah.
Behind you.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. But yeah, it was your birthday. You were gone for a good, 3.5, weeks in Egypt. I mean, you went back in time.
Well, it was actually 2 weeks.
Oh.
But I wished it was 3.5 weeks. Oh my goodness.
Well, you're going back from what you keep telling me.
I'd like to go back.
You still haven't acclimated. I could tell.
Yeah,
when I talk to you, you're just so like,
hey, if God is willing, I will go back there if God is willing, because there is just, I was telling Elvis how I'm like still processing the trip. I can't even get through the number of pictures and videos that I was able to take because it's like information overload, and I want to make sure it's right, especially, when you're communicating to other people. I want to make sure I'm accurate in what I'm saying. So still processing it right now.
But you were in Egypt because that was one of your dreams. Yes,
that was my number one bucket list item from the time I was a kid. I know most of you have probably watched Charlton Heston, Yul Brynner, Ann Baxter, and the 10 Commandments came out.
Oh, yeah.
1956, Cecil B. DeMille's. That, my family, that every holiday season we would watch that. My parents would put that in, and we would watch that 3-hour and 15-minute show, and I've always been intrigued.
It was a VHS, and you had to swap out 2.
Yeah.
Because it was so long, it couldn't go on 1. I just remember that. And we would have to, it's over, and it would show, and then we would have to replace it with another a VHS player. Right. I remember that.
Right. And back then, they didn't call it a movie. They called it a picture.
Yes.
If you listen to the narration, they call it a picture, not a movie, which I think is cool. And by the way, that image that you're looking at was an image that I actually took there on the Giza pyramid. You can see one of the 3 pyramids. That happens to be the pyramid of Khafre in the backdrop with the Sphinx. We're talking 5-6 millennia right here, 6,000 years ago. There were people that built these structures, these amazing structures that have stood the test of time. From an ancient standpoint, you're talking, this is the only remaining 7 of the ancient world wonders that remains. The other 6 have been destroyed by earthquakes. This is the only one, the Great Pyramids right here in the Sphinx, that is still in existence.
This is one of your dreams, and you went for it. Coach Prime says if your dream ain't bigger than you, there's a problem with your dream.
Exactly.
So you had a big dream, and you went for it, which I think a lot of us always want to go to Europe, go to Egypt, go to certain places. So it's fantastic that you got to hit your number 1 bucket list. You said this was number 1 on your bucket list.
Yeah. Well, I got to give kudos to my wife, too, because she's phenomenal with points. with the collection of points. So this wasn't something that we just up and did. This was something that she had been working on for 3 years when she found out that this was my number one bucket list. And it was actually a birthday present that she gave me that she worked on for the past 3 years. So it wasn't like we just up and did this. No, this was planned by her. She did a phenomenal job.
That's a win right there.
Big one.
That's a big win.
Yeah. So, okay, well, let's get back on the subject because we're going to, at the end of the show, the Did You Know, we're going to cover a few things about Egypt that are, in my opinion, extremely unique. But back on the YouTube subscriptions, we actually saw a huge increase from the last 2 weeks, I guess, because we weren't on last Friday. But we're at 1,161, Jesse.
62.
And that's like a 62 person increase from the last time you all sat in the chair. That's big for not even having a show. So I want to thank those subscribers. Hopefully our show will continue to grow. Tell other people in the industry, get them on, get them conversing and watching the show and contributing.
I say agree, and I say come one, come all. Bring them all. I've been watching a lot of Elon, and he has everyone interested.
Yeah.
So I say, bring anyone. Of course, we want to target our industry. We want to target the professionals as much as possible. But our platform's growing because everyone's jumping on in.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in that because I believe that maybe 5 years from now, someone that wasn't interested would be interested that you would never guess.
Yeah.
So I'm saying everyone jump in. And this is your first time back on the show with over 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
When you were back on here, we didn't even hit that milestone.
Yeah. I think
so that's another great one.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I was really pleased when I saw that.
Is that why you got the new shades?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But pulling it up in Egypt and seeing the show go over 1,000, that was really cool to see because, I'm a goal-oriented person. So when we achieve something like that, that means our subscribers and us.
Exactly.
It makes me feel good. So that was awesome. All right. So the subject matter for today is we're going to talk about generators. We, back in podcast 14, this happens to be podcast 25, we were going to get on this subject from the transition with the UPS and talk about the UPS generator harmony, but that show went long and we never got to the generator part. And we never picked it back up in future shows because we bounced around. So we want to go back and get that and just talk a little bit about generators. There's 3 types. The type that we deal with the majority of the time is called a standby generator, but we want to talk about the other types as well because you may be using those at home or you may be interested in buying one for your home or for your business. And that's a portable generator. There's 3 types, the portable, the inverter, and the standby generator. And Jesse, if you can put up image number 00, just to get us started here.
And let's say good morning and hello to our viewers. We have a few. Loretta Bauman. Hello, Loretta. Lenny Hodges. Good morning, gents. Claude.
Yeah, we've got Rhonda Haas. Good morning, gentlemen. We've got Gruber Service. Happy Friday, all. And then the EV fan. Happy Friday indeed.
Happy Friday. Happy birthday.
Yes, Jesse over there?
Yeah, I'm over here.
Okay.
And the 00 is an AVF file, so it's not opening here. I'm just pulling it up. Give 1 sec.
All right. And if that one doesn't work, you can use 01 because I've got several examples of what a portable generator looks like. Okay. Now, this generator right here, it's a portable generator.
That's not a smoker?
No, it's not a smoker.
Look at that thing on top. And I thought you guys were you barbecuing?
Yeah.
Come on, Claude.
By the way, this is a buddy of mine, lives out in Florida. He's got one of these at his home.
That's a great one.
I called him and asked him to take a picture for me because I wanted to use it. But the generator is actually, you can't see it. It's enclosed in this box. This box is very expensive. And then, of course, you have the exhaust up top there, the emissions part of it. But this is at his home in the Florida Keys. He lives in Key Largo. And, of course, you got the hurricane problems. He was talking to me about Hurricane Irma, how they did not have power for 4 weeks out there. Of course, he was able to crank this combustion generator up and keep his power up at his home. So that's an example.
Crank that. Do you see at the bottom left what it says?
No, I can't read.
Zombie box.
Yeah, zombie box.
So it's like an enforcement. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's noise containment, but even
Very cool.
But even with that zombie box, this thing, he said he hates to turn it on. One of the downsides of the portable generator is it makes a lot of noise.
Very aggressive.
And you can hear it down the street, and it's running all day. So
who's yelling at me down the street? Yeah.
Yeah. Fortunately, he has good people skills and he's able to keep people in check. Okay, and then 02, we'll show you the inside real quick. If you could put the image of 02 in there. And again, this is a portable generator.
Okay, these are common. My mother-in-law has something similar that we're going to go through. That for the house, for your car, for if you're going camping. I've seen these in so many different areas that can be utilized.
Right. You're talking 120, power 120, 240 application. Like I said, it's loud. It's gas powered. And it runs at a constant rate. So there's no variability. So when you're talking fuel efficiency, this thing right here is going to run it up on you because it's not what we would call fuel efficient, nor is it clean. Okay?
It's not clean.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that with the inverter generator.
That's what inverts into clean.
Exactly, yeah.
And then there's the diesel. There's a few. There's even a solar. There's a hybrid.
Yeah.
A generator. I had to do some research for my mother-in-law, and I had to look at loads and types of generators. So there are a few different types. And like you said, what's going to go for your home for certain uses.
Well, what my friend said too is he's actually getting ready to swap this out, and he's getting ready to go to an inverter generator.
That's inside the box?
Yeah, that's inside of the zombie box.
Okay.
Yeah, he's getting ready to go to an inverter generator because he's noticing that his devices that this thing is supporting when it's on, it's eroding some of his devices from a harmonic standpoint, and he's not getting the life out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got very technical and very beautiful words there. What do you mean by that?
Okay.
Eroding into a harmonic. Sounds like lyrics to a song.
So the sine wave, right? And we don't have a picture of that. So the sine wave, when you look at a sine wave, sinusoidal wave, you see a lot of variation and it looks rough, right?
Yep.
So that's the sine wave that's going into his devices. And with the inverter generator, that one, it doesn't cut out all of it, but it cuts out a lot of it, and it smooths that sine wave.
Great.
Which in our language is called clean power.
Clean power was the word I was looking for 500, Bob.
Yeah. You got
Perfect.
it? You got 500?
I will.
Okay, cool.
Points. Subscribers.
Cool. So, yeah. So I want to just thank my friend for providing those images. So that's what a portable generator looks like.
Thank you, sir.
Again, you may be thinking about cost. Do you know how much your mom paid for?
$800, Costco.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking and I saw, depending on what it is you get, the size of it, obviously, you're looking anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 to get a good one.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and then get the enclosure so you're not keeping everybody awake, or to minimize the
They're
sound
loud.
there.
They're very loud. It's a motor. It's a machine. It's just,
This one runs at a constant speed.
Yeah.
No matter what it's supporting.
Okay.
So like if you pull a device off, it's still going to run at that constant speed.
Okay. It won't change.
No.
Yeah, because
so it's not efficient.
that's okay.
Yeah, it's not an efficient.
That's not good. It should change and regulate as it's connected. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing too is, like, before we go further, you always hear this other term called a genset. You've heard that term, right?
Mm-hmm.
Genset. And when you think about that, you think, oh, okay, well, you're setting something up, but it's really not that. Yeah, you're setting something up, but basically what a genset is, it's the engine that drives the generator and the generator.
It's a combo.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a combo deal.
So you could have one genset, or you can have two gensets. You can have three, like the Hurricane Watch Center in Miami, Florida. I visited that site. They had 7 gensets. Okay, all lined up together. They were like redundant, because when a hurricane is flowing, you don't want that big black screen to go out. You want those images up there.
So the genset is an engine, a motor that drives the generator,
right? Exactly.
To produce power.
That is a genset.
That's what they say by genset. Mm-hmm. Just so we have something a little bit easier, Claude.
Yeah,
we got a lot of people loving this place, and I love everyone that's always shown so much.
Okay. I got a welcome back from Grant. Welcome back and hello. Thank you.
The one and only Grant Mobile.
Yeah. Then we got a hello Elvis as well. And then we got a crocodile
travel.
Oh.
This is, you ready? This
Oh, I'm
is
ready for
exciting. Look
this.
at this one.
I got a crocodile travel. Hello, brother. Greetings from Egypt.
Luxor.
I am your friend, Mahmoud. I wish you the best, bro.
Wow.
This was a businessman that I met. My wife and I met. We were just, we had a guide, and they took us to meet this gentleman. Just an awesome guy. And, we were in his shop, and I didn't talk to him about UPSs. I wasn't trying to sell him anything, but
There's not a UPS in the backdrop over there? I thought you were going to put one in. Come on.
Where he's going with his business, though, is he absolutely should get one, should think about getting one later on. But anyway, not only did he entertain us and show us his shop, his carvings that go back in history, it's the Egyptian thing. They pass things on, and he's making it better. But his mother broke out the full course meal.
That's the picture you showed, posted with that 45 meals.
Yes. It was amazing. The food was excellent. They did a great job. Thank you for chiming in, Crocodile Travel. Hopefully you'll keep watching.
Appreciate you, Mr. Mahmoud.
Yeah.
Mahmoud.
Yes, Mahmoud. And then we've got Loretta Ballman. I have one, but it doesn't work.
The portable generator.
Okay, we'll bring it in, Loretta. We'll get that thing fixed for you. We do that. That's another thing. We can repair things. So bring it in. We'll take a look at it.
Yep.
All right. So that's the portable generator. The other thing I talked about, sound. The portable generator, you've heard of decibels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the portable generator runs at 80 decibels.
Okay.
Which is pretty loud.
Yep.
The inverter generator, they've been able to knock that down to 50. Okay, so that's a significant shift just in the sound of the machine when you're comparing the two. So let's switch there real quick to the inverter generators. Anything else you want to mention on portable?
So with the decibels,
yeah,
it's important why he said that. So he said produces 80. Our ears without protective gear needs 70.
I was just about to say that. I actually have my earplugs right here. I got two different kinds. I have this one, which lowers my decibels by 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have clear ones that only lower it just a little bit.
Correct.
These ones I use for concerts. The other ones I use just if I'm in the shop or something.
And the reason is why this for decibels. I'm actually a musician, a drummer, but I also used to work in a place, an engineer in a union in Chicago, and it was 120 minimum decibel sound. It was so loud. So that's what messes up your hearing, and it can damage that. Now with drums, even louder, about 180, 190.
Okay, what decibel do we pick it up as far as hearing? Is it, you mentioned 70.
70 and under is where you don't need protective ear gear.
Mm-hmm.
Anything 70 and 80 over, they recommend, because that's when it can start affecting your hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And by God's grace, me playing drums for 20 something years, I haven't had any issues where I randomly wear some ear plugs, but I a lot of times don't. And when you're in the cage in the box and all that, so that's why it's very important when you say decibels. So he said inverters 50 means you don't need anything. 70 or 80 is over the threshold.
Okay.
It used to be 80 about 20 years ago, and they changed it to 70 because they started realizing people were still getting affected.
Yeah.
And I worked in a place that it sounded like things were exploding everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, I mean, that's a good thing. We're talking about generators. When you talk to your customer, it's like one of the downsides of the portable generators that it runs very loud versus this other option where you have 30 decibels less.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's also time too. The longer you spend in those areas, the more hearing damage you get.
Exactly.
So if you're there with the 70 decibels and you're there for only 5 minutes, you're not going to have it as bad as if you're there for 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Where I worked in a 10-hour shift, 120, 130, we had earplugs and we were yelling at each other. So because you couldn't even talk over the machines.
And that's even worse because if you're there at 120 without ear protection, it's a split second.
Oh,
it's not even like a minute or something. It's quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very important that you brought up the decibels.
Yeah.
It's important to know sound. I mean, when we go into a customer's place and we look at a UPS, you always say, what do we use before we touch anything?
Sensory.
Our sensory.
Yes.
Our hearing, our vision. And if you hear something, you hear clink, clangs, all that stuff, you're like, I don't know about that.
It's funny you mentioned that. I've been on customer sites where, seen a lot of units. We service like 70 different models of UPSs, ranging in age from 30 years old to the newest ones. So you go in there and you listen to an old Best Ferrops and you listen to that transformer. If you stand in that room for a week, you will have a hearing loss because that transformer is so loud. But that's a 25, 30-year-old UPS.
So you went to the customer, and then you're next to UPS, and you're like to the customer, "What'd you say?"
Exactly.
Like, wasn't
exactly,
me.
Exactly.
Oh, that was your UPS talking back to me.
And there might be a couple maintenance things that can be done. You can dip the transformer inside of it to to deafen down the sound. But at that point, you're probably going to be buying another UPS for other reasons, efficiency reasons, things of that nature. Okay, so we got another one here. Rhonda Haas. Crocodile Travel must really appreciate the background picture. Yes, I'm sure he does. He actually lives in Luxor, which is about 5 hours south of where this picture was taken. This picture was taken in Giza, which is considered Lower Egypt. Okay.
Oh, okay. Luxor is a real place. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not just
Not
Vegas.
No, it's a real place.
It ain't just a place in Vegas.
But you know what? It's Luxor now, but the biblical name is Thebes. Thebes. So if you
I know
read
that one.
if you read the Bible, that's Luxor today.
Which is Thebes.
Okay, Thebes. Yeah. See, I'm so glad I have him here because I just botch up names totally.
Thebes. I was like, was it TBs?
Yeah, Thebes.
These knees.
Yeah. Yeah. Mahmoud's probably saying, "Hey, you got the wrong pronunciation there, buddy."
Yeah, Mahmoud's like, man, you're butchering it, bud.
Yeah. Look at this.
This
Another,
is a great one from Grant.
Yeah, 65-mile-an-hour winds can produce 130 decibels.
You want to know a fun fact about me?
Come on.
Sure.
Because I have my earplugs, right? If I want to go on the highway, I use my earplugs. If I want my windows down, because I can't stand the sound of it because it hurts my ears.
Wow.
But I want the feel of the wind because I'm going 80.
Beneath your wings.
Yeah, I'm flying, man. Let's go.
Sensitive ears. Wow. Yeah, that's to each his own. I mean, but it's important to know that too. And then 65. Remember when we did what was the one we did in Flagstaff?
Oh yeah, Mount Humphreys. Yeah.
Well, we were like at 40, 45 mile an hour winds. We had to track back.
Yeah.
It started hailing and it was like lightning everywhere.
Yeah.
But we were feeling 40 mile. I mean, those things. Imagine if we had something to rate for the thunder clap, how big the decibels would have been.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I do drums, I have a decibel meter on my computer and I rate. And sometimes like 180, 150 because I want to see it too. But the 65 mile an hour winds, imagine what that can really do to your ears, man.
Yeah.
I got something for the thunder. Usually 165 to 180, but can exceed 200 decibels.
The thunderclap. So when we experienced that, she was saying it was up to 160.
Yeah.
That's why we felt it in our bones.
Yeah. It actually moved us when it went off. All right. So another option we had just mentioned a few minutes ago was the inverter generator. And again, these are smaller generators. We're going to get to our application that we use in our industry, which is the standby generator.
Big boys.
Yeah. But the next one is the inverter generator. And just a few things on that. This one is much more efficient than the portable one. When I say portable, I'm talking the combustion engine one, because it oscillates. There's a governor on it that oscillates the fuel consumption based off how much load you're actually powering. Where the one we discussed before is just a constant rate, constant speed, not energy efficient. The other thing we mentioned too is that this particular make runs at 50 decibels versus 80. It's considered a clean generator.
Yes.
Everybody's getting into that now.
They are. And here's the thing with inverter generator, it's an AC. It produces AC power and it generates and inverts it into DC power. So that's the difference. The normal portable one was just AC.
Just AC, just
That's
utility.
it. Just utility. This one converts it into DC, which is a direct current, which is more cleaner. And then it's more stable on the AC. So that's why it's a more stable and it's more electronic savvy circuit.
And you have a flat line. If you're looking at this on a graph,
it's a clever approach because it inverts to DC, which is the clean power.
Yeah.
And that's why it sounds less. It's not, and it's probably not consistent, like you were saying, constant.
No, it's all based off what devices
Usage.
you have plugged into it. It will either increase and then automatically decrease
With usage, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's great because then that means that if you use a certain amount, it'll use less gas or more gas. The one my mom has, no matter what, she uses all that same gas on one plug or 4 plugs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very important to know with the inverter is that it's clean. Everyone wants clean power.
Right.
Everyone wants to go green.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be more productive and economic and savvy.
And there's a higher cost to it. It's about $5,000 more to purchase one of these. If you can put in image number 11. Yeah, so there's an example of an inverter. They kind of look the same, but you can see how portable this thing is. We didn't even mention that you can take this generator anywhere with you, out in the woods, wherever it is. It's a portable generator. It's on wheels. It's actually lighter than the other model as well, significantly lighter.
Those are heavy.
Yeah. So that's what that looks like. But let's go into the big boys though. The standby generator, if you can put in image number 22.
Welcome to the show, the big boys. There they are.
Okay, this is what we typically are dealing with. Do we service generators? The answer is yes, we do. This is a mechanical, not an electronical piece of equipment. So the whole PM process on this particular machine is entirely different than what we typically do with a UPS box. But that's an example of what one looks like. Image number 32.
That's a common one. Cummins is one of the big boys.
Yeah. Here's a few that are cats. These are just, they look like they're for sale. I just got this image off the internet. That's one. And then image 52.
Cat's another very popular one.
Yeah. Image. Yeah, there you go. All right. So this is actually inside of a facility and you can see they're redundant. When you look at the size of each one of these generators, you're talking about 85,000 pounds, first of all, per generator.
Wow.
Okay, that's what they've got. And so the investment into these things is huge, tremendous. You think about the application that this might be used in. I mentioned the Hurricane Watch Center. I saw a scenario. This isn't the Hurricane Watch Center, but I saw something very similar to this when I did that walkthrough. They were redundant by 6 generators. They had them all laid out like this. It was just incredible to look at. A lot of money. These generators also function with a transfer switch, either manual or automatic. Of course, we recommend automatic because you don't have to have a man. You don't have to rely on a human being to go turn a switch for you if you need power, because we're talking seconds. When the utility goes out, it's like seconds, right?
And yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like seconds and this generator is activated. Okay, and of course there's a UPS in between. That's where we're getting to the whole harmony of the UPS and the generator. There's a UPS in between that picks it up via battery power for seconds. It could be longer than that, but typically if you have an apparatus like this, you're talking about seconds, and then it switches over to generator power.
Correct. And the automatic transfer switch is that ATS.
Yes.
2 shows ago with Lenny, we were talking about external components for a UPS, and we mentioned the ATS, the automatic transfer switch, which is something like Claude was saying, instead of having the manual one, this one automatically clicks and it goes straight to your generator. So there's a convenience and safety to that. That's very important to have. I'm a big fan of the ATS switch. That's why we call them ATS, quick and easy. And it's very important to have for a UPS and for a generator because it's just instantaneous.
Right.
And we've done some shorts on it where you guys can check out. You could see in some of our past episodes where we've spoken more in detail about the automatic transfer switch, the manual, the external components for a UPS. And again, very important how Claude said this in the beginning. There's a harmonization where UPS and generators have to live together. And that's your best setup. It's better to have both. Generator without the UPS, we don't recommend. UPS without the generator, we don't recommend. We recommend and especially what you're backing up and your place, to have both. The harmonization is key.
And what Elvis is talking about when he says harmonization, he's talking about the proper sizing of the generator. From a frequency and a voltage standpoint.
Correct.
If that is not right, when that UPS transfers off a battery, the generator won't take the load, and now you've got a major situation where the load is dropped. They're not working together. Yeah. So the exercising of that generator, which I'm skipping around a little bit, but since we're on it, the exercising of that generator and the syncing up of that generator with the UPS is something that's practiced. And what I mean by that, game time is when you lose your utility, and you have to rely on two pieces of equipment to get you over the hump, the UPS and the generator. So if you're not practicing or exercising that piece of equipment on at least an annual basis, and what I mean by that is there's a UPS technician that comes into your facility and a generator technician that comes into your facility. They have a discussion and they run that whole thing through its paces. Now, of course, this is scheduled. It's during a window, so you're not shutting down the load, that type of thing, but they're exercising, making sure that the harmony is right between the two pieces of equipment. And when you size a generator, you're probably going to be blown away by this. I've read things where it's like you need to be 3 times what the load is. Okay. Typically it's 1.5 times. Okay. To be safe 2, but I read something today where it's like they're recommending 3 times. Okay, what the actual load is. So
to be safe.
Yeah, just to be safe. So the frequency and the voltage, it syncs up and you're good.
Thousands of components to this. So I see the safety aspect and to cover as many bases. And I like when you said the game time. Mm-hmm. I was thinking the same thing for the UPS and the generator harmonization. It's kind of like the quarterback and the running back have to be on that same, when the quarterback handoff is what I pictured in my mind. And you know what Coach Prime says? A tiger never stretches before he gets his prey. He always has to be ready. Right. Think about that. For athletes, they got to stretch. No, you stretch before, because when it's time to play, you do all the right things prior, and that's for the UPS and the generator. You have to do as much as possible to when it's game time, and your 2 main components and your stars, the UPS and the generator, are up to bat, up to play.
And you know what? It's unfortunate, too, that there are companies, and we've experienced it, not going to name drop, where they don't view that as being important.
No, they don't.
They've got these devices, they have these pieces of equipment, but they just don't view that as being important because they got to get the production out, or you know what, that's going to stop us from making money on this day if we do this. But boy, if it's not available and ready and reliable when that moment of truth comes, boy, you're going to lose a lot more money than what you would do during that 4 hours. Yeah. Okay. And I've seen this actually occur in my 14 years here at Gruber, where, you just missed it. The same thing with the bypass, with the external bypass for a UPS. If you're not exercising that bypass, that contactor is going to get stuck.
Correct.
When it's needed. Yeah. We've seen this happen where we actually have had to we've got an emergency call over phone. We dispatched, went down there, and it's like, well, what unit is it? Oh, it's an AP356. Well, you better bring your mallet then, because we already know what's wrong with it. Yeah. It's the contactor stuck. You take your rubber mallet down there, you hit it real hard on the side of the machine. Next thing you know, it's engaged. So
it's ready to go.
Yeah. So things like that, the whole exercising thing. Yeah, we got a lot coming in here.
Macy.
Yeah.
Gruber Pod for the win podcast. Twin Mom 1492. Go Gruber, you are the best. Well, you are the best, Twin Mom. Macy, appreciate you. Kim Estrie. Do you stretch before your hikes? Do you not see these athletic specimens in front of you? Yeah, we do.
Please.
Yeah, we do. We try to stay very smart. I mean, sometimes I'm so lazy, I'm surprised I'm even on the hike. So sometimes yes, sometimes no. We should. Sorry, chemistry. I apologize, but yeah, we kind of do. And then Larson Epram. Woo, GPS podcast time. Thank you. Larson. Different name. Where are you from?
I think Larson actually works here.
Really?
Yes, he does.
Very great name. Larson
he works upstairs.
Epram. I love it. Mm-hmm. Appreciate you, bud. And then Rhonda Haas, love the football analogy. Yeah. Well, we got Coach Prime. showing up today with the blenders.
Yeah.
So we have to go with that.
Hey, you know, one thing we need to talk about too.
Yeah.
Gruber Forever, another one that just came in. I believe Joey's upstairs as well. Joey Panek, I believe that is.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, is the fuel. You know, with the standby generator, the typical fuel that they use is diesel. Okay, and there's a lot going on with just the fuel source, the quality of the fuel, the availability of the fuel. A lot of companies, they don't want to invest in having fuel sitting on their site. The main reason why is that it has a shelf life. Diesel fuel has a shelf life. So if you're not like using it, it's going to degrade in quality. So you're still going to use it, but it's not as clean as it was when you first purchased it. It's past its shelf life. Now you're using this fuel, and you know how that's going to affect your generator.
Yeah.
It's a mechanical device, so you have filters. The fuel quality is not where it should be. What are you going to be doing more often? You're going to have to change filters more often. It's a cost issue. So, you know, they're like playing a game. They're playing a balancing act on how much fuel to store, that kind of thing, based off, you know, what we've used in the past, pretty much. Can't you accommodate the schedule to fit into the customer schedule when it would create less interruption in their production schedules off hours? I think what she's referring to is that maintenance window that I mentioned. Yes, we try to, as much as possible, work with our customers to do these type of tasks during off hours or doing a scheduled maintenance window. That's when it takes place the most. But there are some customers that just won't allow you to touch their bypass. So, you know, they're playing a shell game basically when that occurs. The good news is it's not a lot of customers. It's probably, you know, 3% of the customers that we deal with take that position. The majority of them allow us to do it. And this is something that we ask and put into our contracts to be performed once per year. Is to go in and check your external bypass, just like the generator UPS should be synced, should be checked on an annual basis.
We can accommodate.
Yeah. Val Vesa, I don't know who that is.
I do.
Okay. Bless you, brother. First time I'm watching this.
He's really big in the IT world, in the social media platform in Europe. He's in Romania. He's one of my childhood friends. My mom and his mom are one of their lifetime best friends of all time. Love him. Great family, great friend. He's in the social media IT space. He's really fat. He's so great to watch. He's very trendy, very smart on like genius mindset. I really respect Valentin Vesa is his family name, Vesa, and he is really big. He travels all over the world because he's in this big, and I don't know all the ins and out of what he does. Val, please feel free to drop your company name and some stuff you guys do. He knows this industry and this world and the IT platform for longer than I've been doing it, and he's really good. I appreciate you. Loretta said, "Don't forget me. We'll never forget about you, Loretta. You're really close.
You know
always."
What? You know what? Since you mentioned what Val does, he's in the IT space. I forgot to mention my friend. I got to be really careful because they're very, very tight on their media with the company. But basically, my friend that I mentioned that showed you his portable generator, he is the lead engineer at a nuclear power plant.
Wow.
Okay, so he was talking to me about the gen sets that they have in there.
So you listen when he talks. I look up to Val.
Yeah, he's got like four. They've got like 4 of them in there. Of course, I'm going to ask the question. I already knew the answer. Hey, can you get me pictures? Yeah. Can you get me pictures? Can you come on the show and talk about the installation of these gen sets, how that went? Because he's like the guy from an engineering standpoint at that nuclear facility. So
yeah, look,
pretty amazing.
Val Vesa, hashtag for the win. Val Vesa. Google Cloudflare with the Flare at the end for Cloudflare. Twin Mom, still waiting on the merch store. I know we keep hearing about it, Jesse. What's going on?
It's in the works.
It's in the works. Both of you are awesome. Love the shades. Thank you so much, Twin Mom. We're humbled. We appreciate everyone here. But to the industry, to Val, I look up to him. I watch his stuff. I pay attention. There's so many people on posting stuff. I just swipe, don't even pay attention. When Val posts, I love to see his family grow up. His kids have gotten very grown up, but he is a great mind. He's very entrepreneur, trendsetter, very smart. So I appreciate you coming on, buddy. And he's traveled the world. Just does what he does, and I don't want to mess up what he does, but it's great to see that. Look, there's other people in different spaces, like your friend and my buddy Val. Look, I surely understand when you say UPS and generators. We had an incident power outage in PDX, and the data center used alternative generators incorrectly hooked up.
Yeah.
In PDX, that's Portland.
Okay.
Now I got to talk to you about that, buddy.
I think that's the Portland Airport.
Yeah,
used to be
Portland
referencing.
Airport is PDX.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's from there. So yeah, I believe it. Val, did you just experience the outage, or were you involved in any technical or IT standpoint, or you were just there and the place went down? Is what I'm curious to know. I love the input. You know this space longer than I do.
And when you see something like that, the last 3 words or the last 4 words, the generators were incorrect. Well, that's more. Generators incorrectly hooked up. It's like how.
In an airport.
Yeah, in an airport. Does that surprise you? It doesn't surprise me. Have you ever been to Atlanta Airport?
Yeah.
Oh my! I mean, you have human beings involved, and not all things get done.
Yeah.
There's things that affect it, turnover. People moving. All that kind of things, and things get missed. But that's a big one right there. We use airport codes as the actual place.
Places are secret.
Places are secret.
I appreciate that. That's awesome. He said it wasn't the PD. They just used that as that's what looked in the area somewhere.
Okay.
Thank you. So if it was that or not, it's still very wild to hear that the generators were incorrectly installed and hooked up in a certain place that you wouldn't expect that, or hopefully that shouldn't be the case. So that's fascinating. We'd love to hear from anyone, even in our platform, of these type of experiences.
Yes.
Please share with us all these so we're learning and we can answer and we can give you guys ideas, even if we're not, hey, let's buy from Gruber. No, let's tell you, or let's get you connected with the right situation. Listen to what he says.
Real quick, I want to interject
amazing.
something. You've heard of a governor, right?
Yeah.
Who?
But are you talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, the big?
I knew you were gonna say that. I know you know what governor I'm referencing.
Yes.
But there is a piece of equipment
Governs.
in a generator.
Yes.
A part that is called a governor. You have a mechanical governor and you have an electronic governor.
Yes.
The mechanical governor is typical of the older generator models, where the electronics is something that they've gone to. It's a smart governor, and it gets back to the use of fuel again, based off what the load is requiring.
Correct.
Mechanical governor, it's just going to run no matter what the load is telling you. These electronic governors, however, they're adjusting based off what devices are either on or off. And of course, from a fuel efficiency standpoint, that's the way to go. And most UPS purchases now have an electronic governor.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Read what he has to say per this incident.
Okay. 17 minutes downtime, 26% of internet going down.
Went down. Cuz?
Okay. A junior engineer on shift alone. And when the power went down, he did not know what to do. Ooh. Never leave a junior team member alone, no matter what the job is. And read the manual. Don't assume. TikTok is not a manual.
Nor TV media. Great points.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, sorry, TikTok. On this time, Val's not a big fan of you, and Elon Musk's not a big fan of TikTok either. So, it's read the manual. I think last 1 or 2 episodes ago, I actually said, I'm like, my father back in the day would read, and I was telling Pete, he had this big camcorder, the Sony or whatever, and he would read the manual on 20, 30-year-old equipment. Val has a fantastic point to educate yourself with the equipment around you. As we were saying, remember when that question was presented 2 weeks ago? What do I do to learn up on UPS and this?
Yeah.
Read the manual.
Yeah, that question I heard about that question, but that question, first of all, that was a great question.
It got you.
But it like got me. It's like, you know what?
In today's, that's why I brought it up.
But in today's time, if you can't educate yourself in today's time, there's something missing. There's something missing. There is so much information out there to get you up to speed. Now, not an expert, okay, but to get you up to speed where you can talk about things and understand how things work and what they do and be able to have a conversation with people, you know? But to simply say, well, it's not on TikTok, so because that's the medium that I'm using, that's just not acceptable. Information is out there, but you have to read it. And not only read it, you have to apply it. That's the other thing. You know, you have
Claude, how dare you make me go on YouTube and click 2-3 buttons?
Yeah.
You're asking for too much, bud.
Yeah,
Can't do that.
Did you Google it?
How dare I?
Did you Google it? You know.
How can I do such a thing? No, it's so easy now. You just swipe, you click. Now they even show it in your feeds because they're the data they check and they give it to you. There's so much access.
Now, I'm not going to know if you. I'm not going to assume that you know about this because you're a bit younger than I am. But back in the day when we had to go get information.
Back in the day or back in the day like to that?
No, not that far back. Okay. Although those people were light years ahead of my back in the day.
Okay.
Don't get me going. That's coming. Don't get me going on what I saw. Okay. Those people were phenomenal 5 millennia ago. But anyway, what I was saying, remember the card catalog?
Yeah.
Okay, we had to go look in a card catalog to find books and to read books. We had to go to the library.
Yes,
this stuff is like all at your fingertips now. It's easy. It's like, here it is, print it out, you know, that kind of thing. So we got Val again real quick. In any meeting, the guy who knows the procedures has read the manuals wins.
That's a win.
Yeah.
It's a win, Cass.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about the fuel. We just hit that a little bit. What else do you have?
I think we're jumping on the harmony with UPS and the sizing. Yeah. Okay, so don't overlook the governors, what we just talked about.
Yes.
And then
the topology.
I like this one, the UPS topology.
Yes.
The type of UPS with the generator matters.
Right. And what load you're planning on carrying, just not today, but 10 years from now. If you're in a facility that's growing, because you don't want to undersize the generator based off what's going on today.
Do you think that's why that recommendation came for 3 times now?
I don't know. I would be just BSing you if I said I knew. I don't know.
But that would make sense of why would they recommend 3 times to be safe? Because I've ran into customers that do not know their load or have no idea. They'll give me this and it's just completely off. And when UPS is connected and we go and read it, it's like, oh, wow. Yeah. You're only using 20% of an 80 kVA. Well, you're only using 5. If you want to scale, this is a good place to stay.
Well, fortunately, you know, when you're going through the sizing process, we have the checklists that we follow, so we don't miss those questions. Especially
we don't.
Yeah, especially in the situation you just brought up where the customer has no idea, because that's a reality. To your point, it's like, and then if we're not prepared, we go in with the questionnaire. It's like, okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then you're able to resolve it.
I had a customer said, hey, I need someone to come out. I said, okay, well, what do you need? I need this. Okay, well, here's all the information I need. Still hasn't sent it. I can't do anything about that because he hasn't sent me per the checklist what we need to get out there. It's like, well, I want to do a site survey. Okay, and what do you want a site survey? My load, this. I'm like, well, that's going to be different. Yeah. But what do you have? I don't know.
Yeah, and to some of our, there were a few. I saw a few SST people that are watching the podcast, and you know, just to you guys, because you're newer in the organization, there's a checklist for everything. Okay, just keep that in mind. So don't be intimidated or, oh, I don't know what to do, that kind of thing. There's a checklist for everything. You just have to just know who to ask for.
You do. And research when they ask questions. You have people, we have so many resources. Justin's always been a great one. And we have resources for different reasons. Steven, one of our best ones, the FE, Ray, Lenny, Justin, Darren. There's so many people. Troy. There's so many people that have been here and known for a long time. Jeff. The list goes on.
But those are people that are working here now.
Of course.
But there is I think Pete refers to this as I can't remember the word that he uses on the database that has been accumulated through other people
Yes.
that worked here, like the depot, for example.
Yeah.
Lenny and I are working pretty closely. Lenny Hodges and I are working pretty closely on the depot. And I go, Lenny, there's nothing that you need to recreate here. A guy by the name of Steve Swartz, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, did all this for you. And this guy was on point. He was excellent.
And we have that.
And we have all that
Exactly.
information laid out. You know,
We have a variety from managers, from service groups to the documents. Our files folder it's a plethora. It's a library. It's so many, and there's people that have just come along the way, like you've said. I'm always going to respect the people that mentored me and taught me, and they know who they are, and I think about them, and I'm appreciative to a lot of people that did a lot for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was just a shout out to our new people. Just, if you know know where to go, know who to ask, you'll do just fine here. Okay. So you ready? You ready, Elvis? We're going to transition into, you want to start or you want me to?
You know what Coach Prime would say?
What's that?
I've never been one for peer pressure, but I do put pressure on my peers.
Yes.
So I've been ready. I knew this was coming. I didn't have to stretch.
Yeah.
I knew this was showing up. So let's go.
Real quick before you hit it.
Did you know?
Yeah. The did you know? We want to continue to do this did you know just to kind of like keep it interesting. And Elvis and I were talking about this earlier this week. Today we're going to focus on Egypt, but going forward, our did you know is going to be things outside of the industry. Okay, topics outside of the industry and also topics within the industry.
Both.
So when we do it, we're going to be doing a mix going forward of did you knows, things that are in the industry and then things that are not, just to kind of like keep it interesting and fun.
Agreed.
So you want to start it off?
Yes.
What do you got?
And before, do you want to tell them a little bit, or at the end we can give them a little update on next week's?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I can say now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So next week's episode, we're going to give a special episode to Did You Knows only, and we're going to reach out to the audience and we're going to ask you questions for you guys. We're going to ask you about where you guys at, what do you guys do, what are some experiences, what's your favorite bucket list that you got to travel, like
what industry are you in?
What industry are you in? We want to get to know you guys too on a different level, and we're going to ask people to show up, and we want to learn from you guys. Cassandra's father has been in sales for longer than I've probably been on this earth, and we love to have him on the comments and tell us what you've learned, because he's still in the game.
Yeah, he is. Hey, Dad. He's watching right now.
Hey, Dad. Great to have you
Kevin.
on.
Hi.
Kevin, yeah, I know. We were talking about names that don't fit, like Kevin. Is like, yeah. So we love to have you jump on, Kevin, and give us. And next week, we're going to engage and bring questions to you guys so we can just learn. And it's going to be Did You Know, and a kind of a Q&A, but to get to know the people that support us and are here for us.
Sounds awesome. Jesse, put an image $9.99.
Jesse's not in. Hold on.
He
Give me
disappeared.
one hot second.
He disappeared. That's what was going on. I saw him.
The wheels are falling off.
He exited stage right.
And I now am Jesse. I don't know how to do this. Jesse, I need help.
Uh-oh.
Cass is back.
Oh, he's back.
Jesse's
There
back.
he is.
Guess who's
Jesse's
back?
back.
Hey, Jesse.
Back again.
Jesse.
We missed you, Jesse.
Jesse, I understand, but you're a little bit too young for that, buddy.
He was right when he said Jesse. He started sweating. He's like, "Oh no, another ball! No,
The wheels are off.
He's
No,
out."
we're here.
I haven't
We're
been
here.
cross-trained on that yet.
So which image do you need?
999.
999.
Triple nines.
99999. That's from a movie,
What movie?
Glorious Bastards.
All right, here we go.
Okay. What you're looking at is the Giza Plateau that houses 6 pyramids.
Wow.
This pyramid right here is the Khafre pyramid. This pyramid dates back 5 millennia, 5,000 years. Did you know that the ancient Egyptians figured out how to use DC power to illuminate the inside of the Giza pyramids? Did you know it? Did you know that?
You're killing me.
Inside of these pyramids, they found the metals that they were storing inside of these, because these were a king's chamber. So you got basically all the high priced metals going in there, gold. Okay. And they were using, there's evidence that they were using, that they had figured out how to generate a cell, how to make a cell to provide illumination.
With DC power.
Yes.
Are you sure DC didn't stand for dead cats?
Maybe.
Because they love cats.
That might have been part of the fuel source. But anyway.
That's a hard one for me to.
Yeah.
DC power. Claude, I'm going to push back on this one.
I printed a 10-page document
You're
on
killing me,
this.
Smalls.
10-page document.
Fine, if it's 10 pages, I believe it.
And there was a lot of technical mumbo jumbo in there with the elements and that kind of thing. But the other thing too is I went inside of this pyramid.
Oh.
And I actually could like sense how that could happen inside of that pyramid, because what were they using? A torch? Probably using a torch. The other thing too is that there's 15 in this particular pyramid. There's 15 passages inside of this pyramid that all go to the king's chamber.
Wow.
Okay, where he worshipped and made offerings.
That was at the bottom of it, right?
And I went in 4 pyramids. In this particular pyramid, it was at mid-level.
Okay.
So I went uphill to get to it. But in another pyramid I did, it was actually underground. You went down and then up and then down again, and you're inside. And just to give you an estimation of time, in this particular pyramid, it took me 15 minutes to get to the king's chamber, and then 15 minutes to get out.
Okay.
And I got videos of all this stuff. It's absolutely amazing.
Mile in a mile.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the next one we have the Since 3150. What are you going to jump on there?
3150?
No, is that the one, or did I jump ahead of you?
Oh, you're talking about mine.
The Did You Know?
Yeah.
We got the next one. What are we doing, Claude?
Okay, so put in image 2001.
Mm-hmm.
This is in another. Did you know? This is in Luxor. Did you know that the Karnak temple in Luxor is the largest temple in the world? 200 acres. And this is a photo that I took in one of the locations. You can see the obelisk here. I mean, this thing was magnificent to walk through. Largest temple in the world.
That's a temple. It's huge.
Yes. And this is just one aspect of it. There's another section where there's 134 pillars that look like they go to the sky, with hieroglyphs carved in all the way on all sides of these 134, in color, of these 134 pillars. Just totally amazing and mind-boggling. Karnak temple. And then my last Did You Know, image 4, let's go to image 6,000. No, let me do it the right way. Go to image 4,000, Jesse, first. Most of you have heard of Mount Sinai in the Sinai Peninsula, the mountain that in the Bible Moses summited this mountain and had a conversation with God through the burning bush. He also went back up to the summit to get the 10 Commandments from God.
The picture doesn't do it justice, Claude, huh?
No. So we started this hike. Oh, actually, we went to the desert at 8 p.m. We started the hike at 11 p.m. at night, and to be on the summit at sunrise. So this is part of the hike, this image that I took with my cell phone. This is part of the trail. And, I look at this, the stars. The one thing that stands out were the stars, how bright they were, and just the whole illumination of what it was we were doing out there. I had a guide. You can't just, you just can't go do this.
You hiked the whole night?
Yes.
Claude, you kind of broke one of your rules.
I know.
That's one of your cardinal rules that you don't break.
Yeah, so that's part of the trail. And then image 5,000 is up on the summit of Mount Sinai with the sun coming up. It is a remarkable image. I think I'm going to get this framed. I'm going to enlarge it and get it framed and put it on my wall, because it's a spiritual thing for me. Yeah, this is image 5,000. You have that one, Jesse? Right there.
There he is.
So that's me on the summit of Mount Sinai. You can see my backpack.
You turned into a new man once you got up there. Look at that.
Yes. And the sun coming up. I'm on the summit.
Very spiritual.
It was extreme. I mean, I had goosebumps. There were people up there crying. There were people praying. There were people just in complete disbelief that they were standing on this summit where Moses, stood basically. And it was just an amazing experience. And then the last thing I have is image 6,000. Image 6,000. This is all in the Sinai Desert. What you're looking at above me is the burning bush, which is also in the Bible. This is the bush that God in the Bible appeared to Moses in the form of a flame.
The type of bush.
Now check this out about this bush. You may say, oh, that's any old bush. Well, it's kind of not, because this bush was transplanted in the 10th century. So they relocated this bush when it was much smaller from the summit, transplanted it at the base. I'm standing at St. Catherine's Monastery, which is the oldest church in the world. Okay. They replanted it there in the 10th century. They've tried to propagate this burning bush in other locations of the world and even in Egypt, and it won't grow.
It won't grow.
It won't grow. It only grows here. So I'm standing underneath the burning bush right there, and what I'm looking at is a description of, they explain to you what happened, what it represents, and all that type of thing. Just an incredible. I had goosebumps. I was like just in complete disbelief. You can see it's burned at the bottom, but at the top is where it continues to grow green, and it's just a humongous bush now, transplanted in the 10th century. What do you got, bud?
Wow. So Larson, got a shout out. Dwayne always helps me out. I agree, Larson. Dwayne's great resource, great friend, great person that is always willing to help and answer questions. Val, trivia time. Rhonda, yay, chemistry. Yay, Jesse's back. I know we were frigging out. Val Vesa, check out what he says. The pyramids might have been power plants. Ooh. Angkor Wat is a temple complex at Angkor, Cambodia. It's the largest religious monument in the world on a site of 162 acres. Which is hectares, which is 402 acres.
Yeah, it's huge.
It was built for King Suryavarman. Rhonda House, this is amazing. That's amazing. Val, they have fire extinguishers as many travelers bring fire to try to light it up. Loretta, see why I like listening to Claude. She listens. Yeah, she usually yells at me and she listens to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very true, Loretta. So I got something pretty cool. So the Egyptians were very innovative inventors. They're considered to create the first simple machines, and the machines that have gone forever now. The ramp and the lever is what the Egyptians are known for, and that they created those two, the ramp and the lever and the pulleys. They created that, and now look how far we have cranes and all types of ramps and
Amazing.
That they started. IT growth in Egypt has shown revenue for this year of over $2 billion. So Egypt is starting to catch up. They're starting to get very technically savvy, very IT friendly, and they do so much. You made some fantastic points too, because you were saying when you saw there, you saw the way the ecosystem, the people, the culture, the military, the police, everything was.
Can I give them the example?
Come on.
Just a real quick example. Okay. So I'm riding in a car in Cairo, Egypt. Well, actually in every city there that we visited, but specifically Cairo, because Cairo's 25 million people. And I'm riding in this car. There's no stoplights. There's no road signs. There's no speed limit. There's no nothing. And I'm looking at what's coming. And we're going through this. I see donkeys, horses, camels, bicycles, mopeds, motorcycles, semi-trucks, carriages with crops on the back, animals, dogs crossing the street, and cars, just cars everywhere, going every different direction. There's no accidents. All you hear is beep, 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 beep. Every transportation mode, no demand, and it all works there. And to add to it at the end, pedestrians crisscrossing through all that. There was nobody shouting at anyone, nobody angry, nobody flipping people off. None of that existed. And they make it work. I came back to America and I go, the first question I asked myself is, why do we make things so complicated?
There was harmony there.
Yeah. I mean, they were just like flowing with it. Why do we make everything so complicated?
Fascinating.
It was.
Loretta says, no, I like listening to you, Elvis. Val, Claude's voice should be recorded for meditation episodes to go to bed. Soothing and calm. Do you see why I love Val? I've known him forever. Do you see why I love him? With things like that. Why do you think he's a mentor of mine, Val? Claude, I listen because he knows how to just talk to you really right. He's like, man, I don't like what he said, but man, he says it's so nice. I don't agree, but he's so calm and relaxed. Like, yeah, man, now I got to think about this. He's challenged me. I agree, Claude. I agree, Val.
Val, it's age. It's age, man.
It is.
It's age.
So the last one we're going to do. Egypt is Africa's largest and greatest oil exporter.
You know that.
All of Africa. Mm-hmm. And despite they're not part of the OPEC group. Yeah,
Yay.
I knew you was gonna love that. That's why I had to put that one out there. They're not part of the Organization of Petroleum Exports. They're not part of the OPEC. So they're self-sustained. They do their thing. They're the largest in Africa. The biggest exporter of oil. Mm-hmm. Highlander, so globally informative. Kindness is always free. Highlander, appreciate you coming on. Val, his laughter should be the show intro. Your laughter. I got to get you recorded.
Maybe I shouldn't have come back.
This is not a Let's Roast Claude episode. We'll probably do that down the road for me and Claude. But yeah, this was so much fun. So exciting. So much energy. So happy to be back.
Yeah, me too.
It was so cool. We missed you so much. It was a lot going on.
Missed you guys too.
Thank you for everyone. I mean, the activity today was so inspiring, so energetic. We fed off of you guys. You guys are great. Val, I can't say thank you enough. And one more memory with Val. He's the one that taught me, went to Burger King, to dip my fries in mayonnaise. And I was like, wow. I've never seen that before.
You've never done that before?
Nope. And Val's the one that taught me that. And he came from Romania.
That's a win, Val.
That's a big win.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of it. So that's a memory I have with him. I think I taught him how to drive because he was from Romania. I really appreciate him. Thank you so much for coming on, your insight. Just keep doing what you're doing, buddy. And I appreciate you all you do in the IT space, and we'll talk on a few other things. And
it's good to be back, and we want all of you to have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. Take care.
Thank you.